Welcome to another Good Dads podcast. We are joined by Dr. Baker and also Aaron Swanson, the general sales manager at Springfield Nissan. Most importantly, a father and a husband, which we always like to talk about. Sure. He's also going to sell us a minivan. Or me, maybe, because I might need it.
You very well may.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding around. My wife has been asking for minivan. Like I'm actually like kind of serious.
Yeah, absolutely. We can help you with whatever you need.
Okay, awesome. This is good.
We asked Aaron to come in today because Springfield Kia is a very important business partner for Good Dads, and had the vision, maybe 6-7 years ago that this is important to their employees. So we want to talk a little bit about why businesses make excellent partners for Good Dads and why this was important to you all. So
absolutely.
Yeah, but before we get to that,
Yes.
we want to know about your kids and your family.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have been married to my wife, Amanda, for almost 23 years.
Oh, you have an Amanda too?
Mm-hmm. I told you we have a lot of similarities. So then we'll go right from there. I have twins that are 19. One of them is named Ryan after Sandberg, so Chicago Cubs. So it's a baseball name.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago originally, so I have you got to give me a little win there.
Rhino is a great player, though.
I agree.
Unbelievable second baseman.
And his twin brother Tyler, and then I have a 12-year-old who is in 7th grade at Nixa. His name's Case. And they're the reason why I do all of this. Yeah. You know, family is the most important thing to me. The kid, obviously, the wife, the kids, the whole family. It's why I'm here. I love those people. They're great. So as you know, as you're learning right now, just pretty recently. So
yeah, we got a newborn at home and a 6-year-old. So I'm like I said, we're on the market for a minivan. Nissan, Kia, which either one, you represent both of them.
Yes, we do.
So I think that kind of leads into Dr. Baker's question. And, we talk a lot about, what people do at home, like in their career and how they take that to work with them. So kind of back to your question on why is it important to you at Springfield Nissan and Kia, and why do you guys make it such a focus? And you kind of answered part of that question, which is, it's all because of your kids. So how does that translate to like what you do in your career?
Oh man, being a dad, being a good dad there's so many parallels at work. If you have that priority at home, it will have an impact on who you are at your place of employment. One of our gentlemen in our parts department on the Kia side, the last time we had an event in our Nissan showroom was one of the speakers. And we just finished the renovation of the Nissan showroom. So one of the things that John Whittaker and I were talking about was, hey, before you leave, let's see if we can find some dates so we can do another one now that the showroom's not under construction. We don't have scaffolding and, random people painting and moving tile. But he was excited knowing that we were going to put that back on the books, because it gets, again, to show people their priority, not just as being an employee, but by being a dad that's involved. And if you could find a way to hire only people that were good dads, then you'd have way better employees, because their priorities are right, not only at home, but in their place of employment as well. So it's a great, the full circle is great for us. It's great people. It gets us to be involved in each other's lives, and you end up seeing people out just being good in the community. Your kid's baseball game. I got a track meet late this afternoon, and I'll see a bunch of people that are all doing what I'm doing, find a way to balance that life, work, being a good dad, all at the same time.
Are you running?
No.
You're not running the track? You're not going to show them how it's done?
I will not. My son is actually throwing shot put, so it's something that if I had to do, I'd have a chance, because there's no running involved.
Okay.
You want to go with me?
Maybe triple jump.
If you do triple jump first, I'll do it right after you.
Okay. All right, cool. That'd be interesting.
Well, I think sometimes people overlook the fact that businesses are really interested in having good employees. In fact, their bottom line depends on a person who doesn't have a lot of drama going on at home, who comes to work, and while they're at work, they can work. And they're loyal to their employer because they want to continue working at a place that cares about them and their family. So supporting good dads, especially if you have a high percentage of male employees, makes a lot of sense for the business person. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. I think it can even apply to the ladies as well, because if they have a good dad in their family, again, kids at school on time, odds are parents are at work on time.
Yeah.
If there's success there's success. It can go back and forth. And it also creates an opportunity where people go, hey, I've got this thing this afternoon. My kids track me. It doesn't really matter what the event is. When you know that they have a priority to their family and to your place of employment, you're getting a well-rounded individual that is going to be a high performer in whatever arena they're working in. It doesn't matter what department they work in, or sometimes it doesn't even matter their level of education. If they've got their priorities in line, you're going to get the best version of them every day. And that's beneficial for them, for their children, for us as the employer. I mean, it is beneficial for everybody. So absolutely.
You know, something unique that you all do is you align your marketing with important causes in the community.
Absolutely,
so when you do your commercials or your ads from your showroom, but then you also have important causes, and we've certainly been the beneficiary of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about why you do that, how you do that, how that all fits together for your particular business.
Man, that great question. It's beneficial for a lot of reasons. We do it for the first one is for the charity itself, for the organization. It provides an additional spotlight that they may not get in that particular environment. There are people that are going to watch a commercial, a car commercial, because obviously that's the industry we're in. And then when they see, they're associated or affiliated, they must be donors, they must help, they must provide support. And then they're like, oh man, that's another way to connect us. So we do it for that right away. And then for us as a dealer, it's easy for people to just say, you're a car dealer, right? You service cars, you sell parts, you fix things, right? But we're also people that live in this community that want to make an impact beyond just the car you buy, the servicing of your vehicle. And when they get to see John, myself sometimes, and you guys all together, and we're providing spotlight for you guys, but also making everybody realize we're all human. We all want to help each other. And that gives a perfect opportunity in a renovated brand new showroom that's beautiful on the picture. That's just like, oh man, that's a great opportunity to shed some light on people doing a lot of really good in our community.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I think sometimes people are afraid to approach business owners. Why would they be interested in Good Dads? Why is that important? But you've just talked about why that's so important to your business, but then why you also want to be identified with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, in terms of what you give to us, yes, you do support our work financially, but giving us that, TV time, that's amazing. So can you talk a little bit about how your business gives in more than just financially?
A lot of different ways. We have our staff. We have people that are involved with all different types of charities throughout Southwest Missouri. So we have people that will take a day off, and it's not a day off to go goof off or, go on a vacation, although everybody does those things. It's an opportunity for them to go do work. It's an opportunity for them to provide support. So it's an employee level, but it also, to your point, some of it is just providing awareness. There is the financial, but more important than that, it's, man, does that one commercial that we shoot have somebody watching going, I wasn't even aware. Right. Now that television spot creates an awareness, or like, I've been looking for something to put my time and my resource to. That looks like an organization that I would love to be a part of. And that little simple thing could go from a volunteer additional. They could provide resource. They could provide time, all at the same time while we all get to be together.
Yeah.
This Good Dads podcast is brought to you in part by our generous supporters. This week, we'd like to thank the following: Harry Cooper Joplin Supply, Train Supply, Hawkins & Sons Construction, LLC, Springfield Sign, Mr. and Mrs. Larry and Donna Schneider. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Visit our website at gooddads.com to learn how to contribute to the Good Dads mission. So I have a psychology question for you, since you are our Dr. Baker.
Is this like free therapy?
Yeah, this goes along with what you're saying. And I've worked for people who will say that they want to be charitable, or they say they want to do things just to say it,
right, or
do it just to do it. And then I've also worked with people that actually care and do the action, like kind of what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
How important is that? How contagious is that like for someone at the top, like, you know, like for instance, yourself and John, for them to actually live it and other people to see that action, how important is that for it to go down the ladder? Because I've always heard this is a great quote from, I don't know if you know, Remember the Titans?
Absolutely.
Denzel Washington.
What a great movie. Might be my favorite movie ever.
It's awesome. It's a great football movie. It is incredible. Attitude reflects leadership.
Great quote.
One of the greatest quotes. And I think what you're talking about here, you have to lead by example. You can't just say it and then not do it. How much does that play in whether it's yours or anybody's organization?
Well, I mean, the amazing thing is when we invest in something ourselves, then it's more likely that that we show value, you know, but then we talk to other people about it as well because it's valuable. So when someone like John Youngblood and John Whittaker have really championed the cause of good dads, partly just because they believe in it, partly because of their own personal life, that this has been important to them, then they talk to other people about that. And I know that has had a huge impact on the men working there because John has talked about that.
Absolutely.
And that encourages them to also say, I want to be that kind of dad. I want to support this kind of organization. There are a lot of organizations that you could support, but this is important to him. It's impacted me. I want to support that. So
agreed.
I just like to say, you know, again, it's not just financial. It's not just exposure, but John got personally involved by having us host those lunches for the community and for your workers in your showroom and said, I'll provide the dinner or the lunch. I think it was barbecue.
It was.
There were 50 people that showed up to that. He talked a little bit about his own story. We did a fatherhood parenting kind of thing. I thought it was very well received. So he was like all in on this. And I do think, to your point, Jay, that makes a big difference.
I agree.
Yeah. And how important is that to you for your kids to see that not only with what you do at home, obviously you're trying to be a dad to them, but how far does that go with them seeing you do it at your job too?
Oh, it's a building block. You want your kids to be even better than you could be. And you don't always realize in the regular day to day, you know, you're going to work, you're helping your kid with their homework, you're hanging out on the weekends. You don't always realize the impact that just doing it the right way, being a good dad every day, how that stacks up. You know, Ryan, my son that works for the Springfield Cardinals as well, he has made the joke more than once when we're talking about doing, he goes, oh, you're going to hang out with Fotsch. He's a good dad too. Like I know him from like, it's like there's a million ways you could be associated with everything that you do. And like his first thought was this.
Yeah.
So you don't realize in all of the things you're doing, it compounds on who you become and who you are and ultimately who you make your children out to be. Yeah. And by being a good dad and even some of those little things, it can have a massive impact in the long run. And then they'll be doing hopefully all of the same things, but on even a bigger scale. You know, I want my kids to be more benevolent than me. I want my kids to be able to volunteer more than I do. I just want them to be better than me everywhere. That is the accomplishment of a parent, right? So I'm hopefully doing all those things the right way, and they're growing in that direction.
And what do you always say? Kids are always watching.
They're always watching.
No matter what the age, they're always watching, even when we don't think that they're watching. So even sometimes if you're not necessarily sitting down and having some kind of conversation, or I don't want to say lecture, that's a bad word to use.
Well,
one of those, it's almost just doing exactly what you said, doing what you do and showing them the action is a perfect learning lesson as well.
Yeah. And I think another thing I just like to stress is that the organization, like Good Dads, like we will have chapters from across the state watching this video and thinking about, you know, some of the things that we're talking about. And I would say when we started off with, it was Youngblood then, now Springfield. When we started off with you all, we didn't say, give us money. We said, here's what we could do for you.
Absolutely.
And we wanted, we would like to help you strengthen your workforce. Here's what we'd be willing to do. And we volunteered our time to come in and do the program. And John provided the food and said, let's invite more people in. And from that, it's just been a beautiful relationship for, I would say, 6 or 7 years that we've worked together and encouraged and supported each other. And
that's a good segue to go into the next part. And that's another reason why Aaron is here today. And that is to give away a car. Oh, right. Did I read this wrong?
We got different emails.
Oh,
I
is
didn't
it?
get that email.
Oh, I thought we were doing like a social media podcast giveaway.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I didn't say what kind of car. It could be a used car.
It could be like one of those 1998
I don't know.
cars where you're thinking
the number of phone calls I'm going to get in about the next 2 or 3 days, and everybody's be like, "Hey, no, we heard it. You're giving away a car. We're sure we're the winner. Like, I think we won." I'm like, we didn't really give one away. That's awesome.
Perhaps you want to wrap this up before we get into the giveaway a car.
We should.
Conundrum.
Yeah, we should cut off before that.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's awesome. What would you say to dads that are we always, as you just mentioned, like the different chapters and the different cities and states that are opening up good dads. What is the best way to get a community started as far as businesses? Like, and I know you guys have talked a lot about how you help good dads, but just dads seeking other dads to try to do good for the community. What's a good starting spot for some of the other communities to get started? Is it to hit up businesses or?
Well, I don't think you can go wrong with that. That's a great starting point. You just need one person, right? Once one person sees it and they're like, man, this is something that makes sense for me. Because I don't know anyone that if you were to ask them and go, do you think it would be important to be a good dad? And they would go, no. Like, I don't know anyone that would, like, it's an obvious yes question. And then from there, the building block is, okay, well, how do we put legs to that? Yeah. Right? How do we go from saying, we know that is, in theory, this is a good idea, but like, how do we go and every day and to get involved and to turn I think that's the right decision into, I would like for that to be part of what I'm doing in my day-to-day life. Mm. And then, because involvement, I mean, there are people that their involvement is daily, weekly. There's people that their involvement is annually. There's people that their involvement is financial. There's a million different ways to be involved, but all of them are needed.
I'm just going to say, too, that it's good to know the story of the people, get to know the business owner. What is his story? What is important to him? And so you might think about, well, he seems to be a good dad. That seems to be important to him. So have that conversation first before talking about what I could do for you or you could do for us. Find out what's important. So I would say if you're looking in your community, it's like try to
build relationships.
That's
kind of what I hear you saying too. It's not necessarily like about asking for money or going to what I heard you say too is it's just starting with one other dad.
Yep.
And then adding whoever, and your common good is to talk about being a dad. And that's, we can all relate to that if we're dads. And that's what I kind of thought when I first got on board with Good Dads. I'm like, well, this is kind of braggadocious. I'm like, I'm going to come in there and I'm a good dad. I'm a good dad. And I'm just like, oh, no. This is us being vulnerable.
Absolutely.
This is us like striving to become a good dad. This is getting together and going, hey, this is where I messed up. Have you ever done this? Like, how can I figure this out? This is always trying is what I picture when I hear good dads now.
Yeah. Yeah. And continuing to work together in our Great Community series, we try to help people do this in their community. And today I was on the chapter call from all over the state, and I asked every one of them to share one of their best moments in the last month talking about good dads, whether it was like on the elevator or to a class. And we had everything from I spoke to 100 men in my community to I came home and told my stepfather about this, and he was genuinely moved for the first time in talking about it. Was like it was really important to him, and that really meant something to me. So you just never know.
Yep.
You never know who that person is. I think one of the best things that we've had with you all is that you're very visible in the community. So your high degree of visibility made this a real win for us as well when you decided that we were important. And I thank you for that. So
well, we
that.
very much enjoy our relationship. It is probably one of the biggest things at our store is because, to your point, we do have a high number of male employees.
Yeah.
So having as many of them as possible be involved, and just starting with being involved with their own kids, and making sure that they're doing it the right way. And the right way can be a struggle, especially if it's your first one, right? Like your first kid, everybody's like, this is the equivalent of a guinea pig. We're just going to try this out. It's a science experiment. We don't know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
But we're going to, and then, I had twins first. So like I have 2 experiments. I don't know, now they're 19 and I think we're doing pretty good. I'm very proud of both of them. They're both making great life choice. They're doing some great things, but we're all just learning on the fly. They don't know that we don't know. But when you have the right environment and a good community together to talk about it and to go over ideas, you can learn something from anybody at any stage of fatherhood to help make you a better dad.
Yeah. Thank you.
Aaron Swanson from Springfield Nissan and Kia. And click below. We giving the car away now? Click below. What do we do? How do we do that?
We're not doing
Are we
that.
going to
That's fantastic.
click here? No?
Yeah.
We're giving your husband's old minivan away. That's what we're giving away. Is it still run?
Not giving away a car.
Well, I mean, Fotsch did mention he needed a minivan. So giving away whatever you're currently driving might actually be the segue we need to get right into that minivan.
This is
purchase.
good dads, right?
Yeah.
We can give away one of those little tiny box cars.
Excellent.
Good dads, good prizes.
That's awesome.
Aaron, thank you so much. And
you
as
guys
always,
for
thank
having
you,
me.
Dr. Baker.